Hello, in today's video we're going to discuss USDA home loans and eligibility regarding property lookup and income checks. Home buyers that have questions, of course, can visit us at usdamortgagesource.com or call us at 1-800-743-7556. First, we'll discuss a few of the facts, USDA loan facts, and some of the benefits of the program. The USDA mortgage, one of the primary draws to the program, it's one of the very last remaining mortgages that permits 100% financing. This is especially good for first-time home buyers that may have limited funds saved up and may not have the means to do a conventional mortgage or maybe an FHA loan that requires a 3, 5, or 10% down payment. USDA, it is of course a government-backed mortgage offered through the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Rural Housing. And again, this program is offered through approved lenders, and it provides great homeownership opportunities, again, with no down payment needed. The USDA offers there are two separate programs. There's the USDA Direct Loan. This program is for the lower income households, and that program is done through the USDA directly. Then there's also the 502 Guarantee USDA loan, and this is for the moderate income borrowers. This makes up the majority of USDA loans that are out there. And again, the USDA 502 Guaranteed loan offered through approved lenders, and it allows qualifying household income up to 115% of the area's median household income. And this program is all USDA loans, all government loans really for that matter. They're all secured 30-year fixed rate programs, and again allows home buyers to purchase a home with no money down. We're going to discuss now some of the eligibility criteria. It's important to remember that all home loans, they all have qualifying criteria that's in place in order to get approved for the loan. Those are the things like minimum credit score requirements, maybe minimum employment, income, debt to income ratio requirements. This is pretty much something that's required with all mortgages and really with government loans, USDA loans, FHA loans, and VA loans. Most of the qualifying requirements are very similar as far as the what is needed from the borrower in order to qualify. The one thing that sets USDA loans apart from all the others is that in addition to the standard qualifying requirements, USDA also has two requirements for eligibility. So it's important to check the two eligibility requirements first and foremost. And those eligibility requirements apply to A, where the home is physically located, and then also the household income. There's an income limit to this program. These two eligibility requirements, they don't apply to other loans like FHA loans and VA home loans and conventional loans. You know, in these programs, the property can be located anywhere. The household can make an unlimited amount of money and still qualifies. So we're going to talk about these two eligibility requirements specifically in today's video and provide a little bit of insight to that. First is the USDA eligible properties. Okay, again, this program is reserved for properties that are in USDA or rural deemed areas. Now this program applies to any single family residence in a USDA eligible area, regardless of who's selling the home. USDA isn't concerned about the seller of the property. It can be any regular sale of foreclosure, a buy-owner type sale, any real estate listing, through any real estate company. That's all okay. Really what USDA is really concerned about is the actual physical location of the home And then, of course, the property must be in good overall repair, not like a home that requires extensive rehab or a project, a rebuild. And that pretty much applies to all government loans. They want to make sure that they meet certain requirements as far as the overall repair. Now, it's important that with USDA rural housing, people hear the word rural and assume that in order for the property to be eligible, it has to be way out in the country. And that's not the case. So don't assume a property that you're interested in is not eligible. Many suburbs that may not seem rural in nature could still be eligible for the program. So your main cities, most of the time, those will not be approved. However, there are suburbs not too far from the main city center that oftentimes will have some eligible locations, and we'll look at the map in a minute. The program only applies to primary residence, primary homes, and again, these are homes that are in good overall repair. And when we say good repair, again, it's just not in a home that requires extensive rehab. Properties, all homes, generally there are small problems with uh, any property out there. That's to be expected. They're just looking for really that it meets the main requirements as far as, safety and livability. No investment properties, again, are second homes or vacation homes, just for primary residences. Building on your own lot, that's not permitted, and that doesn't apply though to spec homes that are being sold directly to you by a new home builder. Okay, so if it's a new construction, new spec home that's in um, let's say a planned unit development for an example, and it's being sold to you directly by the home builder, that is perfectly okay as long as that address is eligible in a USDA eligible zone. Mobile homes generally are not permitted unless they're brand new. In this case, the financing is going to be arranged directly through the dealer selling the mobile home. Now, this is just some screenshots of the USDA property map, the lookup map, where you can input an address very easily, and it'll tell you if the property is eligible or ineligible. So the easy way to find this is just go to Google and just do a search for USDA property eligibility. It'll come up to this link. And then once you get to this link, there's some tabs there where it talks about property eligibility, income limits, and some of the loan basics. But once we come to that page, it basically starts with the property eligibility disclaimer. Right there, you just want to hit accept. And then on the next page, we come to, it just has the map here of the U.S. If you look closely at the map there, all the darker shaded areas, the areas that are a little bit darker shaded, those are the areas that are not eligible for the financing. And you can get your mouse and zoom in to a particular state or a particular area, and as you zoom in, it'll expand that and so you can see more clearly. If you want to look at an overall area, let's say you live in Jacksonville, Florida, for an example, you can zoom into that particular area and see how far away from the city you need to go in order to be in a USDA eligible area. But you can input your address right there at the top left side and find your address, put that in there. And just a tip, when you input your address, sometimes less is better. So if you have a problem and it comes back invalid, then try to just input the street number, street name, followed by the zip code. Leave the city and state out. Oftentimes that's a workaround, and that'll show you. So just the street number, street name, followed by the zip code, and it'll tell you simply if it's eligible or ineligible, and then if it is not eligible, then from there you can kind of zoom in and see how far you are away from the eligible areas. Now, the second thing is USDA household income calculations. Again, USDA has a limit on how much income can be produced within the household. The important thing to remember here is this applies to the entire household, even people that are living in the household that may not be on the loan application and applying for the loan. Okay, an example would be, let's say there's a husband and wife, maybe they have 2 children and an elderly parent that also lives with them. Just the husband and wife are going to be on the loan application, and they're going to be the only ones applying for the new loan. However, the elderly parent, they may receive income, Social Security for an example, and that does need to be factored into the income for the entire household as far as the limits go. So there are also deductions for this too, for minors, children living in the household, and again for any elderly members of the household or members in the household that are receiving disability or paying child care expenses. So there are some deductions, and this income eligibility, let's call it calculator, will guide you through. And you can basically just start out by picking your property state, your county, and then from there you'll enter the number of people in the household, and then just go through the questions here, and the number of residents under 18, disabled, or full-time students, and it'll ask you a few more things, and you just click through this and then go to your next screen and it'll tell you. From here, you'll want to put your base employment income. That would be your gross income, monthly income you'd want to put there, your gross monthly income. And then it'll factor also your overtime income, bonus income, and things like that. And then once you're done there, you just hit finish, and it will tell you if you're eligible for the 502 guaranteed loan. It may say now you're ineligible for the direct loan, but you're eligible for the 502 guaranteed loan. So look carefully at that. Generally, throughout the entire U.S., for a household of 1 to 4 people, the income limits currently, and again, these income limits, they tend to increase every year. But currently, for most counties throughout the U.S., the income limits for a regular, let's say, family of 4 would be just over $90,000 a year. And there's some counties that is higher, much higher, high-cost counties. And again, if you're a larger household with 5 members or more, those income limits go up substantially. I think that limit starts at around 119,000 and goes up from there. So if you have any questions and you just want to make sure you're doing this correctly, again, be sure to reach out to us, and we can certainly help you with this and guide you through it. Again, if you need assistance on looking up a property or maybe calculating household income, just reach out to us at usdamortgagesource.com or call us 7 days a week at 1-800-743-7556. Thank you.